أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا وحبيب قلوبنا وشفيع نفوسنا أبي القاسم محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
والصلاة والسلام على أهل بيت الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الصادقين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أما بعد, respected elders, brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We have discussed previously the way to perform the wuzu, the correct ways, the du'as that are used to perform the wuzu. And as I mentioned, we will continue with the topics that follow wuzu, which includes azan. And after the azan, we will then touch on salat, and which is the most important pillar of Islam. And we will discuss that in the next few lectures. Today I have chosen azan, and hence we will discuss quite a few things. First of all, what azan is, what is the origin of azan, learning azan, and of course the importance of azan. I'll also touch on iqama, and inshallah that will conclude the topic today. Please say one salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Whenever I choose a topic and try to discuss any of the points, one of the things that I do normally is to take references from both the books of our Shia scholars and also from the books of our Ahl Sunnah brothers. And the reason why I do that is primarily for two reasons. One thing is to strengthen the ideas or the hadiths that we have been able to procure, and of course also to understand that what really is being sent down to us as the Sunnah of the Holy Prophet, and of course the tafsir of the Holy Quran. And when we learn these, when we learn from these hadiths, that when we quote references from both the Shia and the Sunni books, we must understand that it is there to guide us, not to demonize people. I'm here making specific reference to our Ahl Sunnah. It does not mean that we must demonize them or abuse their scholars or send kind of lanas on them, but it is for us to understand that we were guided, alhamdulillah. Basically, that is the objective. It is not when we see something that has gone wrong in their history, that we feel has gone wrong in their history, we must take that as a lesson. But we should not take that and demonize them, because that it becomes unfair. That has not been the practice of our Aimma and of course our Rasulullah, and therefore we also should not practice. So let us also make it a point that at this point forward in our life, if we have whatever grievances against whoever in this world, we either leave it to ourselves and your Lord, and or just forget about it. Yeah, but especially when you are in a gathering of people, whether it's your friends in school or whether it is in a center like this, we should always try and avoid abusing other parties. Okay, because we sometimes don't understand the meaning of lanat. We think lanat is a curse, but lanat also we know exactly what lanat means. Is when we ask Allah to take away the mercy from them. We have learned the ziyarate ashura, ziyarate warisa, where we send lanat on certain type of people. Those people whom we send lanat upon are who? People like Ali Yazid, Ali Marwan, and Ali Abi Sufyan. When we talk about this Ali, and we talk about them, of course we know because they are the killers of the Ahlul Bayt, and they're the killers, or supposed the killers of what the objectives were. They wanted to kill Islam. But when we talk about them, when we talk about reciting lanat on the Ali, Abi Sufyan, Ali Yazid, Ali Marwan, what are we doing? Ali mean what? The descendants. Of course, when we say about descendants, if we just say about descendants per se, meaning their sons, their daughters, their grandchildren, it would be unfair because they might not have been as their fathers. Like we know, the son of Yazid was not like his father. He did not assume the throne after Yazid passed away. The concept of when we say Ali, descendants of these people, we are saying the descendants of those ideas, of those concepts, of those oppression that they had. When people inherit, if it's in this world, there are people who inherit the concept, the ideas of Yazid, they are the people who refer as Al Yazid or Al Abi Sufyan. So we must understand that when our imams who have taught us these yards, those are where the limitations are, and we must understand that who we are sending lanat upon. Inshallah, I hope you understand better about lanat. Please say one salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Okay, what is azan? If we look at the word azan, it means announcement. When you want to make something known, when you want to announce something, that is what is meant by azan. And it has a root word which is idhn. Idhn we know is to mean permission. When we want to go to haram, we ask idhn, right? Idhn dukhul, we recite to enter the haram. Why we want to ask for permission? And the word azan means granting, when permission has been granted. So you make an announcement of allowing people to enter or coming towards something, inviting people towards something. That is what azan means. If you see the summary of what azan is composed of, there are primarily three things. One is you're confirming the concept of Tawheed. You're testifying that Allah is one. The Tawheed concept is very important, and that is the number one. Number two is the kalima, the shahada. The azan also summarizes the shahada. When we say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, these are the kalima, these are the shahada. So this is when you're confirming and testifying that. And the third important thing about azan is that it is telling you what the purpose is, reminding you of what the purpose of life is. Why do I say so? If we see Surah Al-Dhariyat, which is Surah number 51, ayat number 56, what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسِ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I have not created the jinn and the humans except that they worship me. That is the purpose of life. We wish to attain. So that's why when we say Hayya ala salah, come to us prayers. That is the purpose. Hayya ala falah, come to us salvation, comes to us success. That is the purpose of life. So that's the reason we need to remind ourselves that every time when we say azan, the primary reasons is confirm the concept of Tawheed, confirm our testimony about Shahada, and of course remind ourselves about the purpose of life. Now where is this azan came from? Where is the origin of azan? If we look at, first of all, the sayings of our Imam, there were 5th Imam, Imam Muhammad Baqir Salamullahi alayhi. If you read Bihar Anwar, and it has got a classic story rather of what the Prophet did during the night of ascension. And there's, as you know, he goes towards all the levels of heaven, sees all the kind of prophets, and sees the kind of people in heaven and the kind of people in hell. He asks the angels. There's one point of time where he reaches Al-Baytul Ma'mur. Al-Baytul Ma'mur is a counterpart of what we see in Makkah. When we see the Holy Kaaba and we see the people circumambulating it, in the higher levels in heavens, there's a similar concept, similar idea where the angels circumambulate. That is the Baytul Ma'mur. So when the Holy Prophet reached there, one of the angels was reciting one dua. And when he was reciting that dua, or rather after reciting that dua, he heard somebody calling out the azan when the time of prayer came. So the Holy Prophet stood in front and queued behind the angels, thinking that Jibreel will lead the prayer, but then the Prophet led the prayer. So that was the time when azan was first heard by the Holy Prophet. When we see the other hadith of our 6th Imam, Imam Jafar Sadiq Salamullahi alayhi, Imam Jafar says that there was another time there was a revelation. This is now during on earth. When what happened was that Jibreel came down to see the Holy Prophet, and the Holy Prophet, and that time he came with the declaration of how azan should be recited to the people. Of course, we know that Miraj was also the time when the prayers were declared, right? The prayers were declared, how to perform the prayers, how many rakat there was during Miraj. Also, it was during Miraj that the Holy Prophet heard the azan, but the declaration of reciting azan came on earth. And that time, the Holy Prophet's head was on Imam Ali's lap. And while he was resting, Jibreel came down and recited the azan. He recited the azan and Iqamah, and he asked, when the Holy Prophet got up, he asked Imam Ali, did you hear that? Imam Ali said, yes. The Holy Prophet asked Imam Ali, did you memorize it? Imam Ali said, yes. He said, then call Bilal, we teach him the azan, and he goes out and recites the azan. So to summarize, the Azan was in the form of revelation. One in Miraj, where it was heard by the Holy Prophet, and second time when it was revealed as a religious declaration to mankind when it was on earth. We get this both from Imam Muhammad Baqir's hadith and also from Imam Jafar Sadiq's hadith. Now these references, when we look at about that the Azan came down as a revelation, is not only in our books. We see that there are several books of our Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah brothers who have quoted the saying that it came down as a revelation and not as a dream. In fact, not only these, there are another 17 tafsirs done by the Ahl Sunnah brothers, our scholars, which show in those tafsirs that the Holy Quran was sent down, the Azan was sent down as a revelation, not as a dream of one of the Sahabas of the Holy Prophet. Okay, so what happened in Miraj? What did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or rather in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what did the Holy Prophet hear? When the dua was completed by the angel, he heard somebody recite the Azan. Some references say it was Jibreel who did it. And he was reciting the Azan. What did he say? He first said, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Yeah, Allah is greater than any words can describe Him. What did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? My servant has spoken the truth. I am the greatest. Then the angel said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. I bear witness that there is no creature worthy of worship except Allah. Again, Allah says, my servant has spoken the truth. Other than me, there is no God. Then he heard, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. I bear witness that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. What did Allah say at that time? My servant has spoken the truth. Muhammad is my servant and prophet. I have appointed him as the prophet. Then the angel said, Hayya ala salah. Hayya ala salah. Hasten towards salah. Allah said, my servant has spoken the truth. He has invited others to worship me. Whosoever comes towards the salat and with complete love and full accountability, the salat will be a kafara for his previous sins. See the importance of the word Hayya ala salah. When you hear Hayya ala salah from the muazzin, remember what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. You're coming down there to pray, and so that your salah will be a kafara for your previous sin. Then he heard the muazzin say, Hayya ala al-falah, hasten towards salvation. And what did Allah say at that time? Salat is the means of success of my servants. Salat is the key to success and salvation and truthfulness of my servants. That's why we hear every time whenever we go out, especially on holidays or further studies, or even wherever we're going, you always see your parents reminding you of one thing. Don't forget Salah. Don't forget Salah. Why? Because the key to your success, whether it is in studies, in attaining rizq, the most important thing is Salah, because it is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had said. These things I quote from Biharul Anwar. Now one thing important that I would like to say here is that when we look at Biharul Anwar, and if you see many of the editions of Biharul Anwar, this hadith comes to until this point. A lot of scholars have done research and study as to why in Biharul Anwar, Allama Majlisi has quoted the hadith until Hayya al-Falah and not beyond that. And one of the Ayatollah Nasir Makarim al-Shirazi has mentioned that there are two possibilities. One possibility is that either he has chosen not to write the complete hadith, because after all he was narrating what happened in Miraj. And second thing is possibly because in history, as we all know, a lot of our history books of the Shia scholars has actually been eradicated. So there's a possibility that the full hadith was not kept in the notebooks that were written down by the companions or whoever that wrote it down. However, we know from other books, especially from the hadiths and the hadiths of our Imam Ma'sumin, that the Azan, we have then learned what the full Azan is, and of course the Iqamah, as I will now show you in this next slide. Quickly, Allahu Akbar 4 times, and then we have Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah twice. There we are testifying that there is no God, no deity except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're confirming, we're testifying that the Tawheed. Yeah? And then we go to Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. You're testifying that Muhammad is the messenger after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has created this earth, created the people, and what has he done? He sent on the Prophet. Why did he send on the Prophet? So that he can spread the message of Islam. So we testify also the Prophet of Allah. Then after that we go twice to Hayya ala Salah, which is hasten towards prayers, and here we know that we're coming towards prayers. We're hastening towards prayers. The announcement is made to us coming towards prayers. Why? Because this is the purpose of life. Second, thereafter is hayya al-falah, hasten towards salvations. As I mentioned, the key to success is prayers. So you have to think about your hereafter. Not only the success in this dunya, but also the success in the akhirah. Then we move on to hayya ala khair al-amal, hasten towards good deeds. Of course, this is the best action, the best deed. One of the Holy Prophet's sayings is that the prayers is the best of deeds. And then again we conclude with Allahu Akbar twice to testify and please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And of course, La ilaha illallah, and confirming again our testimony that Allah, there is no deity except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we go quickly towards what the Iqamah says, we just divide the Allahu Akbar into two. We only recite it twice. And the final La ilaha illallah, we recite it only once. The only thing that we add in the middle is the Iqamati Salah, which is stand for prayer. Iqamati Salah. Yeah? And here we have to remind ourselves that the muazzin or the person reciting the Iqamah is saying, do not let prayers wait for you. This is one thing that is important. When you hear Azan, when you hear the Iqamah, remember, don't let the prayers wait for you. When you hear the muazzin say Allahu Akbar, think what it means. Allah is greater than anything that you can describe in this world. So think about it. You're at your work. Is your work bad? Is your work greater or is Allah greater? If you're watching any movie, is that greater or is Allah greater? And so on and so forth. And you will realize that because of the importance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have to leave everything else for salah. Now the biggest question that arises among our brothers, and especially also among the Ahl Sunnah, is that us the Shias, we include one more quote, Ashhadu anna Aliyan waliyullah. I testify that Ali is the wali of Allah, the vicegerent. So this is the one that is recited after Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. And it is not part of the Azan, but it is the Shias included. So the biggest question that everybody asks, why do the Shias recite it? Why? It is not part of the Azan, it was not, when it was revealed, the Azan was revealed, it was not there, then why do the Shias recite it? And one more thing, that if you recite it with the intention that it is part of Azan, it is haram. It must be qurbat. The niyat must be qurbat when you recite Ashhadu anna Aliyan waliyullah. The answer is very simple, and it's purposely I put it up today here because I want all of us to understand so that when we are questioned, we have the answer ready. The reason why is purely because we are testifying, we are confirming our testimony that Imam Ali alayhi salam, we are confirming the testimony of Imam Ali alayhi salam's wilayah, that he is the wali of Allah. Why? And we do that after proclaiming La ilaha illallah and Muhammadan Rasulullah. The question is that still, why do we do it? The answer is in various books. First of all, in the Holy Quran. In the Holy Quran, in Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse number 55, what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? إِنَّمَا وَلِيُّكُمُ اللَّهُ وَرَسُولَهُ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا الَّذِينَ يُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ وَيُؤْتُونَ الزَّكَاةَ وَهُمْ رَاكِعُونَ. Meaning, only Allah is your wali and His messenger, and those who believe, those who keep a prayer and pay the poor rate while they bow. Now, who is this referring to? Allah says your friend, your wali are three beings. Number one, Allah, His messenger, and He says وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, those who believe, الَّذِينَ, which means now He's referring to the same person. He does not say وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَالَّذِينَ يُقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ. The alladhina yuqimuna salata refers to the same person, walladhina amanu. Now, who is this person? Of course, this person is none other than Imam Ali alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And we have found this in many tafsir of our Shia books. But not only that, we have also seen this in various kitabs, various books of our Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah brothers, who have mentioned, for example, Tabrani, who is a famous Sunni scholar related in various of his books, who quoted from Imam Ali, from Zayd bin Arqam, from Abu Huraira, and 12 other companions. We have also Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, who is the spiritual leader of the Hanbali sect, who is also narrated in his Musnad. He quotes from Imam Ali alayhi salam, Zayd bin Arqam, Abu Ayyub al-Ansari, and 30 other companions. And of course, here the kitabs that you see here, that has been quoted, that this verse refers to Imam Ali alayhi salam. Not only in our tafsirs, not only in our books, but also in the tafsir of the Ahl Sunnah and also these books. Now we go on to the next one. Where do we still get the confirmation that specifically it is Imam Ali? One is from those books. Here is the Prophet's hadith. O Ali, you are the wali of every believer after me. And all those books which I have quoted are all the books of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. All those books. In our books, of course, we'll find many, but this hadith I have quoted from these books. We see another hadith, which is, of course, from our book, Bihar Anwar, where the Holy Prophet says, whoever says, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadun Rasulullah, must also say, Ali Amir al-Mu'mineen, Waliyullah. Here we are getting the answer, that why, as to why we recite. Because the Holy Prophet has asked us to say that when we testify La ilaha illallah and Muhammadun Rasulullah, we must also say Ali Amir al-Mu'mineen, Waliyullah. Now, the next one. Imam Jafar Sadiq also says the same thing. Whenever one mentions the risalat of the Holy Prophet, it is recommended to testify the wilayat of Imam Ali. Now this recommendation is coming from the Holy Prophet, from the Holy Imam. Firstly from the hadith of the Holy Prophet, then from the hadith of the 6th Imam, and of course several of the other Imams. So this is the answer. This answer that we must give to ourselves, and if anybody were to question, this is the answer. When we recite Ashhadu an Ali wa Waliyullah in the Adhan, it's because we are confirming to ourselves and testifying that after Allah's Tawheed, after the Holy Prophet's Risalat, it is the Imam Ali's wilayat that we must testify. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Another question that we are asked is about Hayya ala khairil amal. Where did this come? How come we see it in our Azan but we don't hear it in the other Azan? Of course, again, besides the various Shia hadiths which we have been receiving, quoted from the Aimma, I will give you some references from Bayhaqi, another prominent Sunni scholar in Al-Sunan Al-Kubra, where he's got a chapter just entitled Narrations about Hayya ala Khairil Amal. And in that chapter, he narrates that Ibn Umar, Ibn Umama, and Imam Ali ibn Hussein alayhi salam have said that during the Holy Prophet's time, or rather, sorry, during the Azan, after Hayya al-Falah, they were reciting Hayya ala Khairil Amal. Ibn Umar and Ibn Umama are both companions of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and the quote or the narration from Ibn Umar, the chain of hadith comes from Ibn Abi Shayba through Ibn Abi Ajlan and Ubaydullah from Nafi from Ibn Umar. And according to the Sunni scholars, Ibn Abi Shayba's narrations, the hadiths that are compiled or rather acquired from Ibn Abi Shayba are very authentic. So here we see again in their books that they confirm that Hayya ala Khairil Amal was recited by those two people who are companions of the Holy Prophet. There is also another hadith from in one of their books, one of the narrations that they mentioned, that Hazrat Bilal Habashi used to say Hayya ala Khairil Amal during the morning, during the Fajr prayers. In fact, the hadith continues to say that the Holy Prophet then asked him to change from Hayya ala Khairil Amal to As-Salatu Khairu Minan Nawm for the morning prayers. But it also means that in all the Azans, it was Hayya ala Khairil Amal. But we also know that As-Salatu Khairu Minan Nawm was not during the time of Prophet. It was during the time of the second Khalif. And where do we get this from? From the next reference. Kushji, a grand Sunni theologian, quotes that Umar, the second Caliph, had confirmed that Hayya ala Khairil Amal was a practice during the time of the Prophet. Why does he say that? Because he narrates that Umar, during a sermon, during his time, this is what he said. 3 things were common during the time of the Prophet's era, from which I prohibit, and for which I will penalize. Number 1, temporary marriage, which is muta, Hajj tamattu, one of the rituals during Hajj, and saying Hayya ala Khairil Amal in the Azan. This is quoted from the sermon of Umar. We also have other references we mentioned about As-Salatu Khairu Minan Nawm, which he saw that one of his sermons, when he asked him to wake up for Fajr prayers, he said As-Salatu Khairu Minan Nawm, and then he asked the Muazzin to include that in the Azan. So that was during the time of Umar, not during the time of the Holy Prophet. And of course, those are the references. I move on to the common mistakes of tajweed that some of us make during Azan. I'll run through it. The first one, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. It is clearly Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Not Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Because normally when you see the word ul is normally it's a joint to say something of something, like when we see the second line. So the correct one is Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, not Ru Allahu Akbar. The second one we say is Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. That is wrong. Because the word in Arabic, when we say, first of all, the first one is Ashhadu, and then it's an la ilaha illallah, not al la ilaha. An means that. I bear witness, I ashhadu, I bear witness, and that. La ilaha illallah. So the correct one is ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. The third common mistake also, the same thing, ashhadu. It's supposed to be ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Muhammadan Rasulullah. Muhammadan Rasulullah. Why? Because you see the way we say Rasulullah. Rasulullah, of Allah, messenger of Allah. That's why we join, become Rasulullah. But when we say Muhammadan, is one word. Muhammadan. Muhammad is Rasulullah. You see? So that is the correct one. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. I hope with this, inshallah, we can clear our pronunciations and avoid these common tajweed mistakes. We move on. What is the consequences if we recite improper azan? One thing is we send out a wrong message about the azan to Muslims. Today you may be reciting azan here. Tomorrow you might get an opportunity to recite azan in your mosque, and you'll probably be on the speaker listening to, and there will be tens of thousands of people around your city listening to you. So we do not want to send out the wrong message of azan to the non-Muslims. It reduces the desire to go and pray, especially when you hear a muazzin from a certain mosque. Even the azan is not right, you'll be like, oh my God, if the azan is not right, how do you think the prayers, what other things would not be right in the place? See, you send the wrong impression of people within your own community. And third one, embarrassment to oneself. You will be embarrassed that you're not able to recite those three things: Tawheed, the kalima, and the reminder to yourself that what the purpose of life is. So you give an embarrassment to yourself, your parents, because they are the first teacher, your teacher in madrasa, and of course to your community. Yeah. Then the next one comes to. So why do the people not recite Azan? Why do people not come up in front and say, I want to recite Azan? Number one, we believe lack of role models. See, many of times when we go to the mosque, you see only the person wearing the cap, the kanzus, and maybe the lungi is the one reciting the Azan. We don't see the person who's a doctor coming and reciting the Azan. We don't see an engineer coming to recite the Azan. So when we see our youth models here, they'll be like, oh, my time will only come when I'm that old, wearing those lungis to the mosque with, the shirt on top. No, that is a lack of role models that we have. We must come out. Parents, you see sometimes a child will not see the father doing the Azan. They say, no, then I'm feeling shy, my father's not doing it. Role model. So role models like parents, elder brothers, professors, anybody in the profession. When people look up to it, you will notice there are some people who are good orators. If you see the orator reciting the Azan, the person who wants to be the orator will automatically start to recite Azan. Or a doctor, and so on and so forth. So role models we must have. I must see role models coming up and saying, and recite the Azan. The other one is lack of initiative. People don't have the initiative to come and ask. They feel shy. They feel shy. But here you're going out to do something that is so important that you will see in the next hadith, which I'll show in the next slides. Do not wait for it. Come up. I was so happy to see when I see all these young brothers of us under the age of 15 coming up telling me, I want to recite, I want to recite. During the month of Muharram, we had a sheet written down of all the names we want to recite. These boys, this is a good initiative. I commend the parents for that support and encouragement that they have given. But this was not, I do not only want to see these children. I want to see the youth, I want to see the elders. The elders will do it, the youth will do it. The youth will do it, the children will do it. Lack of role models again. We must always remember, do not wait for it, ask for it. And of course, give Azan in your community. Wherever that may be, you give the Azan. Why? Because you may inspire others. If somebody of your, let's say of your age, your best friend is giving Azan, you will also feel desired to go and give Azan as well. Because you will feel that you want to be at par with what kind of level that he is. So again, give Azan in your community. Then we go to the next one. What are the hadiths that the Holy Prophet and the Imam have mentioned about who? Firstly, about the caller of the Azan, the muazzin. What does the Holy Prophet say? The Holy Prophet said, the caller to the prayer, the muazzin, is forgiven for raising his voice and his eyes. You normally cannot raise your voice and talk, right? But at this point of time, when you raise your voice to recite the Azan, you are forgiven. Every wet and dry thing testifies to his credibility, and he receives a reward for everyone that prays in response to that Azan. Subhanallah. when one boy recites here azan, he may have not realized that he's reciting azan because of he's got the shauq to recite the azan, but he does not realize, and we also sometimes don't realize. But this is what it is. That's why this should inspire for you to come out and recite the azan, because every person who will respond to that azan and pray, you will get the sabab. You will also get the sabab for every. Another hadith on the collar, which from Imam Ali Islamullahi alayha. He says, let the most eloquent among you call for the prayer, be the muezzin, and the most knowledgeable from you to lead the prayer. Again here, he's talking about let the most eloquent. So it doesn't mean that you go and look for the person, okay, he's eloquent, okay, recite. No. Meaning, tell yourself, I want to be eloquent. I want to be among the eloquent. I want to go out there, recite the azan. I want to get the sabab for all those people who come and recite the namaz in response to them. So again, this hadith, we should always remember and initiate ourselves to come and give azan. Then comes the hadith on the azan itself. What does the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? He says, Shaitan flees, runs away when he hears the call of prayer. Shaitan runs away. Once the person calls, Shaitan runs away. So now you are in a purified environment. Environment free away from Shaitan, free away from his ideas, free away from his thoughts. So you're coming to an environment which is really a place that you should be. What is another hadith of the Holy Prophet? The inhabitants of the heaven hear nothing. Those who are in the heavens, they hear nothing from the people of the earth, except what? Except the call of prayer, except azan. That is the only thing people in the heavens hear, nothing else. So let yourself be voiced out. Hear yourself. And that is why when we hear one of the hadiths of the Iqamah, that when you said the Iqamah, the line of angels from the earth all the way to the heaven, that length stand behind you, even though you're the only person reciting the namaz. So imagine when we gather here for the namaz jamaat, and we have the azan and Iqamah recited, you have a line of angels following behind you. Subhanallah. Again, one more hadith. This is from the Holy Prophet about reciting adhan in the ear. We always have a common practice among the parents that when a child is born, we recite the adhan on the right ear and the iqamah on the left ear. This hadith is from the Holy Prophet where he told to Imam Ali, "O Ali, when a son or daughter is born to you, recite the adhan in his right ear and on iqamah on the left ear. Shaitan will never harm." This is where the hadith of the Holy Prophet, a common practice among the parents. Inshallah, we should always practice it when we have the kids. And last hadith about the reciting of the azan is this interesting one, where Imam Jafar Sadiq says, "He whose manners deviate, recite azan in his ear." Interesting. If somebody is doing masti, if somebody is really doing the wrong thing, what do? Recite azan in his ear. I don't know how if your friend were to do something wrong and you were to go and recite azan in his ear, I don't know how it works. But at least I know it can be practical from the parental point of view. If you have young children who are very masti-khor, so when he goes to sleep, let's recite azan in his ear, inshallah he will improve. Please say one salawat ala Muhammad. This is one hadith regarding what happens when you talk during azan. One of the, if you've seen it at the wuzu area, you will notice that, you'll see this piece of paper where the Holy Prophet's hadith is there, that whoever engages in worldly conversations, who talks about worldly matters, at 5 areas, Allah will nullify his or her 70 years of amal. A typical person's life expectancy is what? 70 years? In other words, he's talking about your whole life. He'll nullify all the 70 years of amal at 5 places if you talk about worldly affairs. The masjid, when Quran is recited, bidding farewell to the janazah, at the graveyard, and number 5, when azan is being said. So it's very important that once you hear one of these boys or anyone of you, you're hearing azan, whether it is here or at your workplace, when you hear on the radio or on the phones now, or we all have the azan software installed in the computers, in the mobile phone, we hear this, remember, stop. Don't engage in any worldly conversation, because that is not the time to, because of those consequences. What are the benefits of to the Muslims about azan? Number 1, increased desire to go to the mosque early enough to get an opportunity to recite the azan. That's the benefit a Muslim gets. will go early. Especially those who have the initiative to go out and recite Adhan. They come early. Why? So that they get a chance to recite Adhan. Second one, increase desire to go to the masjid early enough to listen to the Adhan, so that why? You are there on time of prayers. Somebody who wants to be on time of prayers will make sure that he's there before the Adhan, because he does not want to miss out the Iqamah that follows it and the namaz that follows it. Of course, then increase iman through understanding of the Adhan. When you understand the tawheed, the kalima, the shahada, the purpose of life, you will increase your iman through that understanding. An excellent Adhan penetrates the heart of the Muslim, and he can have more interest towards prayers. This is one of the benefits. And of course, one of the best characteristics of a mu'min is a person whose heart is attached to the masjid. Why? Because this is the place of purity. This is a place where shaitan would not be around. Azan is called. So this is the benefits to the Muslim. I'd like to share with you one very interesting, which maybe some of you have come across, some of you have not come across, is the national anthem of Turkey. Interesting enough is that in the national anthem of Turkey, in the 8th verse, they say, these azans, whose shahadas are the foundation of my religion, may their noble sound last loud and wide over my eternal homeland. Turkey's national anthem, 8th verse. How much importance they have shown to us Azan, that they included in their national anthem, which some of the children may be reciting it every day in school. See how much importance they have towards Azan, and how much they quote this in their Azan, in their national anthem. Finally, to conclude, Azan, a few things that you have to remember about Azan. Number one, what is Azan? It's a call to prayer, confirmation about the Tawheed, the Kalima, and of course the purpose of life. It is an invitation towards prayers, salvation, and good deeds. It was revealed to the Holy Prophet. First, the Holy Prophet heard it in Miraj, and second time, Jibreel descended with the revelation of declaration that it is supposed to be recited before the Salah on earth. You must initiate to recite Azan and give your soul the tranquility. Of course, practice and recite it correctly, avoid the common tajweed mistakes, inspire others when you recite, and of course, finally, you must understand the importance of Azan. I hope with today's topic and discussion about the Adhan and the Iqamah, we will see more people now, more faces. I do not only want to see Muhammad Hussein and Dawood. You have not recited lately. Azan. Mahdi Rasa, mashallah, he was running quite well when we've seen him during the month of Muharram. But I want to see even our youths, even our elders, coming up and reciting the Azan. Be role models. You will recite, your son tomorrow will recite. Yeah, inshallah. Please say one Surah Fatiha and one love salawat. Muhammad.